kryptonite burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, hard turns, savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. This is raw real.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. As we get ready to rock and roll, we get ready to duke it out here this evening with the always amazing, the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. As these drivers get ready to rumble, they get ready to go to battle here from the beautiful Cedar Lake Speedway. Here is heat race number 1. Just around the corner, drivers will get ready to rumble. They will get ready to go to battle as the practice session is coming to a close. All these drivers will go into a random pill draw here for their heat races. So random heat races, they could be in the first, they could be in the last, they could be starting on the pole, they could be starting, mid-pack or at the rear of the field in their heat race. No one knows until this practice session comes to a close. Once this practice session comes to an end, drivers will get to see where they're seated and where they're going to be starting their heat races, as we'll get ready now for heat race number 1. So here we go, jumping right into the action, as it is Tyler Ryan who will start in the pole position here this evening. The 47 ride going to start out in front. He's hoping for a big day here this evening, as to his outside in the 101 ride, the Cocky Floyd Consulting Machine. That is Jacob Sexton starting there in second. Starting in position number 3 in the 727, the Race On machine, that is Zach J. Clark. To his outside in the Dirty South Speed Shop, number 5H, that is Chris Hill. Starting in position number 5 in the 98 ride, who seems to be not here for the start of this heat race. It looks like it's Wade Burris who will actually go to the rear of the field. We'll see if he can jump in here for the rest of this heat race. As of right now, he'll slide backwards, as moving forwards will be the 47 of Marco's pace. Marco's in that beautiful number 47 ride will now start in position number 5. To his outside in the TNT Racing number 45 ride, the man from Australia, that is Mr. Stephen Burrow. Burrow will start there in position number 6. Starting in the 7th spot in the 16, that is Dustin Hennigan. Henny will start there at 7th. To his outside in the Conky Floyd Consulting number 86 machine, that is the beautiful looking ride of Mr. Brian Wells. Wells will start there in 8th, and starting at the rear of the field in the TNT Racing number 11, that is Jaden Glenn. So it is 9 drivers here that will see that green flag fly. As here we go, ending all of the anticipation with our feature presentation, not our feature presentation, our first heat race of the day. As here we go right into the battle as Tyler Ryan looking to try to keep these guys back there at bay, and already 3 wide here from the field. Unfortunately for Ryan, he gets bumped up the racetrack. He'll slide backwards. So now it's 47 side by side with 47 as the 727 of Zach Clark jumps out in front, takes that early race lead. Now we see a caution flag fly. Looks like potentially timing may have had Jacob Sexton out in front being our race leader. So we'll have to wait and see if Sexton stays out in front or if Zach Clark can jump up and potentially steal away from him, as we'll get a quick look back here. See what brings out our first caution flag of the day. As it looks like the 5H of Chris Hill. Since the 47 gets up the track, Marco's pace kind of gets into him. They get bounced around a little bit, unfortunately. Oh, big hit there for the 5H ride of Chris Hill. My gosh, that car went absolutely flying. Oh, man, luckily not for Chris Hill. They got a backup car back there. Hopefully he can get that out for the rest of this heat race, or potentially he'll have to jump in here and get that backup car ready for our feature event this evening, as the 5H ride just kind of gets bounced around a little bit right there. Bounces off of the 47 ride initially. So as he comes out of corner number 4, you see this contact right there. You see the sparks fly, the contact between him and the 47. That gets Hill kind of bent into shape. He comes back down the track, bounces off the 16. Unfortunately, right there, nowhere to go for Dustin Hennigan. The 45 ride follows him right on through there. Helps him in with a little bit too much speed and momentum, and then into those tire barriers on the pit entry. And look at this car. He went from the high side into the infield, never even hit the racetrack again. That is a big hit right there for Chris Hill. My gosh, that car went absolutely flying. Hopefully he's A-okay as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and back to green flag racing is my boy Alex Motherfluffin Brewer. Brewer coming in, setting it off with a 300-star dono over there on Facebook. I appreciate that, Brewer, coming in, showing the love here in this one. Dropping the 300 stars, the big D of the day so far going to Mr. Brewer. He is the big D of the day. Is out in front. It's Jacob Sexton. He's got that race lead. Sexton's out in front. Marco's pace now into position number 2. Marco's up 5 positions from where he started, but the car right there behind him has been virtually following him right up through there. They make a little bit of contact. Gets that 47 a little bent out of shape as here comes Zach Clark looking back to the outside. Our pole sitter, Mr. Tyler Ryan, he's right there ready to pounce, ready to poke his nose into this battle as we are about halfway through our first heat race of the day. It's some great running here, as here in this one, Austin Marshall says, what's good? Both my guys in this one, Zach Clark and Dustin Hennigan. Yes, Sirski, Clark, and Annie out there battling door to door right now on the speedway, as nice and easy is Jacob Sexton down the back straightaway, who's trying to just pull away from everybody else, trying to keep these guys back there at bay, trying to keep them behind him. He's feeling a little bit comfortable here. Cocky Floyd Consulting right, sitting 1 and 2. So hopefully him and Marco's Pace can work together, keep each other from going around and try to pick up our only 2 transfer spots here out of this heat race. Is nice and easy down and across the line. He'll click off lap number 8. 2 more laps left to go here in heat race number 1. Clark still back there in that 3rd position, looking and hoping to try to find himself one more spot and work himself back into that 2nd position here this evening, but he's only going to get 1 more lap to try to get it done. As the white flag has been displayed for Jacob Sexton, nice and easy down into corner number 2. Will take us back down the back straightaway for the final time, down through 3 and out of 4, picking up heat race win number 1. It is Jacob Sexton. Marco's Pace will come home in 2nd. Zach Clark back in 3rd. Unfortunately, only the top 2 will transfer through. It's Hennigan, Tyler Ryan, Brian Wells, Stephen Burrow, Jaden Glenn, and everyone else will all go to our consolation races here this evening. As Tim the Toolman Taylor, what's good, Timmy? Timmy says, Aaron, what's good, Tim? How are you, brother? Tim coming in, showing the love over there on Facebook is my old man, Ben Bebo. How are you, Father? Father coming in, showing the love here with that like on the stream. Steven Stokes coming in with that heart reaction. Billy March with the thumbs up. Dave Morgan with that like on the stream. As Austin Marshall, my boy Austin, how are you, brother? Coming in with the like and the share as well. The Dirt Warrior Racing League coming in with the like and the share. And my boy Jeremy Vaughn Racing, he's got that noti gang. He gets those notifications, and he's right into the action here with the first reaction of the day, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go here as heat race number 2 out there onto the racetrack. It's starting on the pole in the 75 ride. That is Mr. Kent McLean to his outside in the number 5. That is Shane Matthews. Starting back in position number 3 in the 33. That is the TNT Racing, the Mr. Moneyman. That is James Ellington. To his outside in the 357, the Cocky Floyd Consulting, Sexton Paint and Body. That Doghouse Chassis ride, the 357 of Derek Wright will start there in 4th. Chad Puterbone, the beautiful Peacemaker Gaming, Mama Schuller, Dirt Panda, iRacing iFlag number 20 ride of Chad Puterbone will start there in 5th with Kyle Moyer, William Hargraves, Jeremy Aikens and T-Jack. Tyler Jackson bringing up the rear of the field in his DWR iRacing iFlag number 8 machine. As here we go again, 9 drivers duking it out here in heat race number 2 this evening. And out in front, Kent McLean, he will lead lap number 1 here in this one. So our first lap of heat race number 2 will go to the pole sitter as Kent McLean trying to keep himself out in front, trying to keep himself away from all these other drivers, trying to keep them off his back bumper and trying to win this heat race. As my old man says, we are good. I love that, Dad. Love that you guys are doing good. Love that you guys are doing swell. And I mean, I know I'll see you guys on what, Saturday for Thanksgiving dinner, something like that, I believe. Saturday for dinner. I have to go back through that text message chain and figure that one out. As Kent McLean continues to lead the way, Shane Matthews there in 2nd. James Ellington back there in 3rd with Derek Rice in position number 4. Continuing to look for more here as he's got Kyle Moyer right down to his inside. William Hargreaves there as well as Dirt Panda, iRacing iFlag ride, rolling right there in position number 6. He's hoping to try to find a couple more spots here. He's got T-Jack right there with them as a pair of those DWR rides trying to work their way slowly but surely towards the front of the field. Champ Puterbo unfortunately does slide back into about the 8th position. He's got Jeremy Aikens right there with him as Aikens falls back into position number 9. As out in front, it's Kent McLean who continues to lead the way. As that says, you might have some company for your ride home. I might have some company for my ride home on Saturday. Oh gosh. Well, I gotta leave early-ish Saturday. I probably gotta take off at like, I don't know, 8 o'clock, maybe just a little after 8. I gotta broadcast at 9:30, so unfortunately, the Americans don't celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving, and they don't plan for Canadian Thanksgiving ever. So that's that one will have to get in, get out kind of deal. But for Kent McLean, he's looking to get in and out of this heat race with the top spot. He continues to lead the way. Only 2 more laps left to go as James Ellington trying to hold on to position number 2, the TNT Racing number 33 ride, looking hooked up here this evening. Unfortunately, really nowhere to go for Tyler Jackson, Will Hargreaves. They're all right there. Is down across the line. They will see that white flag fly. So one more time around here in this one as Kent McLean continues to lead the way. Down through 3 and out of 4. The 75 of McLean will win heat race number 2 here this evening from Cedar Lake Speedway. James Ellington in that second and final transfer spot. That'll move Shane Matthews, Tyler Jackson, Derek Rice, Kyle Moyer, Will Hargraves, Jeremy Akins, and Chad Puderbo to our consolation races here this evening. As Albert might need a ride home. I mean, I'm sure I could figure that out. I'm sure I could probably help him out with that. That's for certain. Sure I could drop the old, the young fella off. You know, what are uncles for, you know? I'm sure I could do that. Is Tina Sexton. Tina coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction. How are you, Tina? How you doing this evening? Coming in, showing the love. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow, and subscribe button as we'll get ready here for heat race number 3. It's starting on the pole in the number 20 ride. That is Philip Sexton. To his outside in the 4X, it is Ryan Howard starting there in position number 2. Starting back in that 3rd position in the beautiful Cocky Floyd Consulting Doghouse Chassis, the CWD machine. That is Mr. Jeremy Sexton starting there in 3rd. To his outside in the 49 ride, that is that beautiful DWR iRacing iFlag 304 Roots ride of Jackie Whaley. Starting back in position number 5, it's Tim the Toolman Taylor in that Memphis Grizzlies TNT Racing 99 ride. Tim Taylor will start in position number 5. To his outside in the Grip Hackney line, the TNL machine. That is the 8 of Jeremy Vaughn. Starting back in position number 7 in the 57. That is Jim Revis in his DWR machine. Starting back there in 7th. You'll have Jason Calhoun in the Hoosier ride. There to his outside. And Evan Monaghan. Monaghan will bring up the rear of the field here in that 9th position. As here we go, back to green flag racing as Philip Sexton will get the jump. A great start right there for the 20 ride. Now looking to try to hold off his brother, the other 2020, as Jeremy Sexton right there with them as they roll 1st and 2nd. But here comes Tim Taylor down low. Timmy trying to make something happen as they're 3 wide, almost 4 wide, back there behind him. Look out at Jackie Whaley, Jeremy Vaughn, Jim Revis, all going to get together. Evan Monaghan is able to pick up 4 positions right out of the get-go, moving himself now into that 5th position. So for Monaghan, he was the benefactor there, that 3, almost 4 wide battle, and he jumps right in to position number 5 on the racetrack. Is out in front. It's Philip Sexton and Jeremy Sexton, 1 and 2, out there on the speedway. As you see, Ryan Howard, Tim Taylor still duking it out here for that 3rd position. They gotta get a move on. They gotta get a lane here to see if they can jump up and try to make a pass of one of these Sextons to try and put themselves directly into the show without having to go to a consolation race here this evening. See you on Saturday, Dad. See you on Saturday. Absolutely. It's Blake Doyle. What's good, Blake? Blake says, I heart Peacemaker Gaming as always. Blake, we heart you as always, brother. How the heck you been? How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday as the Wednesday night street fights, man. They always put on a good show, and here again this evening so far, been some great racing. A little craziness there. A crazy wreck for that 5H ride of Chris Hill in heat race number 1. Since then, it's been clean and green. Good, hard racing, but man, it is the Sextons here this evening. We saw Jacob Sexton early on winning that 1st heat race, and now we see Philip Sexton and Jeremy Sexton battling 1 and 2 here on the speedway for heat race number 3 as the Sextons all looking to try to punch their ticket here in the heat races this evening. As Ryan Howard back in 4th. He's the odd man out right now. He's in that 3rd position. That's the first loser here, unfortunately. unfortunately, that's not an automatic transfer into the show here this evening. So for Ryan Howard, he knows he needs to jump up here, try to buy one more position to work himself directly into the show, but he's running out of time as here comes Monaghan. Tim Taylor trying to hang on to that fourth position as Monaghan looking to pick up another one. Here's Revis, Jackie Whaley, Jeremy Vaughn, and Jason Calhoun bringing up the rear of the field as Philip Sexton does see that white flag fly. So the white flag has been displayed here in heat race number 3. He'll take us back down into 3. Nice and easy out of 4. Jeremy won't have anything for him as Philip Sexton picks up heat race win number 3 here this evening. Jeremy Sexton will come home in second, punching their tickets to the show as Howard, Monaghan, Tim Taylor, Jim Revis, Jackie Whaley, Jeremy Vaughn, and Jason Calhoun will all have to go to our consolation races here this evening. As Blake says, life is good, my friend, and I hope you are doing good, too. You know I'm always doing good, brother. I'm always doing good, always doing even better when we get to see you amazing people in the chat, cheering these guys on and showing the love here throughout each and every one of these streams, man. We were off the last couple of days. It didn't feel right, but it was nice having a couple nights off. Just kind of sit back, relax, take it easy, and, do nothing for a couple nights. That was nice, but we're happy to be back up here in the booth, ready to rock and roll here. We got broadcasts over the next, I don't even know, 6 days, 5 days or something like that until we're off the next Monday. So, yeah, definitely going to be another little bit of a grind here, and we'll slowly but surely get some of these other leagues that have just ended back in and should be back into every single night of the week, which is what we want to do. Here we go, our first consolation race of the day. Let's take a look here. I'm not sure how many we're taking through. So it looks like top 9. Top 9 will advance into the feature event here. Unfortunately, that means 2 drivers will load up their rides and go home here from this C main. So for Zach Clark, you'll start on the pole. He's got Ryan Howard there to his outside. Tyler Jackson, Tyler Ryan, they're in position number 3 and 4. Tim Taylor and the 11 of Kyle Moyer back in 5th and 6th with Stephen Barreau and Jackie Whaley in row number 4. Row number 5, it is the 20 ride of Chad Puderbo and the 216 ride of Jason Calhoun rounding out our top 10. And Chris Hill, unfortunately, looks like Chris Hill has not taken his backup car out there onto the racetrack, so it looks like he is potentially done for the evening. As here we go, back to battle, back to duking it out. As out in front, Zach Clark with a good jump, a good launch, and he's looking to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay. It's Jim Bailey. What's good, Jim? How are you, Jim? How are you, mister? Says hello from Blackjack Racing Team. How are you, Jim? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day as well, mister. Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday here. Hump day, halfway through the work week, halfway to go to the weekend. Is Zach Clark out in front, has this race lead. Tyler Jackson now into position number 2. As T-Jack looking to try to keep all these guys back there behind him. He knows that right now he is sitting in a transfer position. The one key thing that we'll be looking at is this battle back here for that 9th position. Only the top 9 here at Wisconsin will punch their ticket into our A main feature event. So any of this 2 wide, 3 wide, almost 4 wide racing out there on the racetrack here, it probably isn't needed. As much as you want to get a better starting position, as much as you want to try to work yourself into a little bit more of a confident role into this race, sometimes it's better to just kind of go maybe a little 2 by 2, maybe try to get a little bit more single file, knowing that if you're up here like Kyle Moyer or Tim Taylor, you're sitting inside the top 5. You put yourself into a position where you go 2 or 3 wide, it could all of a sudden puts you into a very, very difficult spot. You get tagged, you get turned around, you get loose and lose a couple positions. Now all of a sudden you got that transfer spot looming and in the air, and you don't really know whether or not someone back there behind you, like Chad Puderbo, Jason Calhoun, could potentially jump up and steal that transfer position away from you this evening. As out in front, it is still Zach Clark. Clark, and the race on ride continues to lead the way. So Clark, nice and easy down across the line. That'll be virtually about our halfway marker here in this heat race. So halfway right there down the back straightaway. 7.5 laps in, 7.5 laps left to go for this 15-lap consolation race. As Zach Clark and Tyler Jackson. They have both started to open up a bit of a gap here. They got almost a second between themselves and Tyler Ryan. Ryan rolls there in position number 3 with Kyle Moyer right there on his back bumper. Ryan Howard and Tim Taylor, they're battling here for that 5th and 6th position. And now you're starting to see drivers like Jackie Whaley and Stephen Burrow both putting their noses right into this battle. And right behind them are the 2 drivers duking it out for this final transfer spot. Chad Puderbo, he has that final transfer position right now, that beautiful DWR machine. But right there behind him in that 216, that is Jason Calhoun. Calhoun is currently sitting on the outside of a transfer spot looking in, and he knows that if he can gain one more spot, it could really help him out, and that may have been it right there. Contact for Tim Taylor. Tim gets loose, almost goes around. Luckily enough, keeps the point in the right direction, but he does lose 4 positions now. He is on the outside looking in, but he's battling back door to door here with Jason Calhoun. The laps are closing down, and this is the fight for that final transfer into our A main feature event. Maybe now a little bit of damage as well for the 99 right. So he's going to have to try to find another gear and try to disappear here and see if he can try to run away from this 216. And when do we see potentially a little bit of a bump and run maybe coming out of this 216 run? If he can give a shot to the 99 on the closing lap, maybe steal this final transfer away from the 99 machine. As Zach Clark just out in front, looking good, is down across the line. He'll see that white flag fly. So for the final time here in our consolation race, our first consi of the evening, it's Clark and T-Jack 1 and 2 out there on the speedway. Tyler Ryan and the 11 of Kyle Moyer battling door to door there as they'll come home in 3rd and 4th. Steve Moreau, Ryan Howard, Jackie Whaley, Chad Puderbo, and it is Tim Taylor in that final transfer spot going to punch his ticket into the show. Unfortunately for Jason Calhoun and Chris Hill, they will load up their rides and they will join the fans in the stands here for the rest of tonight's racing action. It's my boy Justin Johnson. What's good, Justin? Justin coming in showing the love with that heart reaction here on the broadcast. How are you, Justin? How are you, JJ? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. As Dave Morgan says, let's go Sextons. Cheering on the Sextons here this evening at Sersky. Always good to see Dave up in the chat and cheering these guys on. As here we go, getting ready for our second consolation race of the day. Our second consi here this evening again. Top 9 drivers will transfer through. That means 2 drivers again here in this consolation race will load up their rides and they will join the fans in the stands here this evening. As of right now, only 8 drivers have loaded in. There we go. There's Monaghan. So we got 9 drivers looking to start, and I do believe they're about to get ready to roll here. And if we don't see Jeremy Akins or Wade Burris load in here, both of those drivers may be the odd men out. They may be the 2 that end up, unfortunately, loading up their rides and joining the fans in the stands here this evening. As Billy Marsh says, Uncle Tim Taylor is my hero. Billy, I could see that. I feel like Uncle Tim Taylor is everybody's hero, okay? Especially here on Peacemaker Gaming. We love ourselves some Tim the Toolman Taylor, and definitely love seeing Timmy out there in that beautiful TNT racing ride. As Justin says, at work, hiding, laugh out loud. Hey, brother, hey, listen, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man. You hide, you as long as you're able to watch, man, just don't get in trouble, man. If you're going to get in trouble at work, don't do it. You can come back and rewatch them, brother. You can come back and rewatch them. Justin works too much. Justin does work too much. So I'm happy that he's watching, but if he's at work, hopefully this just doesn't get caught. As here we go, getting ready for our second consi. As Shane Matthews will start in the pole position, it's Dustin Hennigan to his outside there in second. Derek Rice, Evan Monaghan, Brian Wells, Jim Rivas, William Hargreaves, Jaden Glenn, Jeremy Vaughn rounding out our top 9 out there on the speedway. All 9 drivers right now will work themselves into the show. They will be a part of our feature event here, as unfortunately we saw 2 drivers not load into this consolation race. We did not see Wade Burris and we did not see Jeremy Akins roll out there onto the speedway, and unfortunately it looks like those 2 drivers will not transfer through into our A main feature event. As there goes that 5 ride of Shane Matthews. Matthews going to go for a little loop-de-loop right there, and unfortunately for our pole sitter here in this consolation race, it's never a fun spot to be. Let's see if we can play it back and take another look, see what happens here as he's trying to keep himself out in front. You see the big slide job out of the 16 ride of Dustin Hennigan. And it looks like Matthews just trying to shoot down the racetrack to cross back underneath the 16. Unfortunately, the 13 ride of Monaghan was already there, and that's all it takes to jack that thing up, turn that car around, and unfortunately, as he's pointed the wrong direction, it'll put him back into the 9th position. Luckily enough, he is still in the show. He's still in the battle here this evening. Obviously going to make things that much tougher as your starting position goes way back to the rear of the field here. If you cannot win the heat race, you definitely want to try and gain a couple spots, try to put yourself up towards the top 3, top 4. Hope that you can try to gain a good starting position here for this A main feature event as Dustin Hennigan out in front leads the way, 6 laps down, 9 more laps left to go here in our second consi of the evening. As the 357 of Derek Wright trying to hold on to position number 2. It's Brian Wells down to his inside, and the 13 of Monaghan still poking his nose right there into the battle, and now here comes Will Hargreaves. Hargreaves right there as well. He's trying to work his way up towards the front as the Grumpy Graphics DWR number 71 machine, that Dirt Panda Vim's Liquor Ride, trying to race his way up towards the front of the pack here, hoping to try to earn a solid starting position here this evening. So is it Jaden Glenn. As Glenn in that TNT Racing number 11 ride, he will work his way into the show, but you want to get a much better starting position here. Same with that 57 of Jim Rivas, the number 8 machine of Jeremy Vaughn. Stuck back here in that 8th position. You're still starting on the bottom side of this field. You're going to be starting towards the back of the pack. You'll be on that second last row if you finish back here in this 8th position. So you really want to try to find a little extra something here over the final 5 laps here of our second consi of the day. Is out in front, just running away with it. It is Dustin Hennigan. Henny has the race lead. He is looking to try to open up more and more of a gap, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay as Derek Wright rolls in position number 2. Brian Wells there in third with Evan Monaghan back there in position number 4. He's still working that inside groove to perfection here. The 13 ride looks really, really good down and low here in this consolation race. We'll see if that can transfer over to our feature event, especially as that high side becomes more and more slick. Things get a little bit more treacherous out there for them. We'll have to see if the crew goes to work, if they end up making some changes here, potentially try to put some extra water, maybe roll over some of the dirt out there and try to hit this track a little bit more tacky for that A main feature event coming right up here in a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see if the track crew does any work. As out in front going to work, it is the 16 ride of Dustin Hennigan as he rounds corner number 4. He will see that white flag fly. So for Henny, a big consolation race win here this evening as he is finding a ton of speed out of this 16 run. We saw him there a couple times entering high, cutting down the racetrack, getting these big runs down the straightaway, and it's worked out to over a 2-second lead as he wins our second B main here this evening, our second consolation race of the day. Derek Rice, Monaghan, Wells, Hargreaves our top 5, Jaden Glenn, Jim Rivas, Jeremy Vaughn, and Shane Matthews our top 9 to punch their tickets into the show here this evening. As consolation races, heat races, they're all come and gone, and now we'll get ready for a quick warm-up session as drivers will get an opportunity to jump back out onto the racetrack, try to make sure that their cars are absolutely perfect and ready to go here for this A main feature event. Is Jacob Sexton, Jacob coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction here on the broadcast. I appreciate that, Jacob. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today as the warm-up session is going to conclude. We're gonna leave that. We're gonna jump right into the show here. Okay, I'm kind of on board with this one. So we're gonna jump right in to the A main feature event here this evening. No warm-up, no sitting back, no waiting. These drivers are just gonna get right into the thick of it here in this one as Zach Tebow says, this the main? Got it. Yeah, no, this now is the main. This is now the main. Is Anna Alessandro, how are you? Anna coming in as well, says, what's up, Peacemaker? What's up, Anna? How are you? How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful hump day here, a wonderful midday break, and now getting to enjoy a little bit of dirt track racing here as things moving along quickly here this evening. We jump right in to the A main feature event. We get ready to duke it out here in this one. Is starting on the pole in the number 101 machine. That is Mr. Jacob Sexton. Sexton will start in this top position. He will start on the pole, and he'll get to lead us down to the green flag here this evening. To his outside, our second heat race winner. That is the 75 ride of Kent McLean. Starting in position number 3 in the 20 ride, that is Philip Sexton there. That is, I do believe, the father of Jacob Sexton, and then we see Marcos Pace, their teammate, to their outside in that 4th position. The 33 of James Ellington will start there in 5th as Jeremy Sexton, brother to Philip, uncle to Jacob, I do believe. I could get that mixed up. Maybe it's Jeremy's son, Jacob, which would make Phil Jacob's uncle, something like that. It's the family here, the whole Sexton family, up inside the top 6 here for this A main feature event. Our B main winners here, our Consolation winners, Zach Clark and Dustin Hannigan will start there in row number 4, as Tyler Jackson and Derek Rice will round out our top 10. As here we go, 24 of the best in the business to duke it out as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. As here we go, Jacob Sexton, great launch, great start right there. As yes, it's Jeremy's son. Okay, it's Jeremy's son. So Jeremy's son is Jacob Sexton. Philip is Jeremy's brother, which would make Jacob Philip's, or Philip would be Jacob's uncle. We got the whole family tree going here, as we do see early on some big moves from Marcos Pace, as Marcos works his way now into the top position. So making a couple early moves here in that 47 ride. Looks like he has found something, and he has found his way right to the front of the pack here, as he is now out in front, hoping to try to run away from everybody else. As Philip Sexton there in 2nd. Jacob Sexton falls back into that 3rd position as James Ellington trying to hold on to position number 4 as you look at the Hornet's Nest back here behind him. It is door-to-door action. Drivers trying to hang on. Drivers trying to work themselves forward. It is a lot of tight racing, and it's an absolute Hornet's Nest back here, man. There are some busy bees trying to navigate their way through the carnage, through the chaos here, trying to find some gaps and trying to find some ways to potentially work themselves up to the front of the field. Is right now the 75 ride. You see Kent McLean right in front of Dustin Hannigan. Hannigan seems like he may have a bit of a faster car, but he just cannot get that lane around the 75, and on corner exit, the 75's got nowhere to go, has to come up, close off that door, and unfortunately blocks that 16 ride from finding any big runs. But now here he comes, looking to split the middle. They're going to go 4 wide. Look out, that doesn't always work. It's somehow they keep him pointing in the right direction. Hannigan says, you know what, I got to make a move. I got to get to the inside of that 75 ride if I want to continue to try to march my way up towards the front of the field. Unfortunately, that kind of sent Kyle Moyer a little sideways right there. We saw that 47 to Tyler Ryan. He got some contact out of that one. Unfortunately for both drivers, they slide backwards a little bit out there on the speedway, but out in front, it's Marcos Pace. Marcos continues to lead the way as Philip Sexton, Jacob Sexton, and Jeremy Sexton roll back there in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the speedway. But right there behind him, working his way up towards the front of the field here, it's T-Jack. Tyler Jackson. Tyler Jackson now into position number 5 as he slides up the racetrack right there. Here comes Zach Clark. Clark looking down to the inside, as that is the 33 of James Ellington working to their outside. Ellington trying to stay inside the top 5 is the TNT Racing ride, trying to hold off that DWR, the Hollywood Shark ride, down to his inside. The race on. Number 727 to Zach Clark rolls there in that 7th position as Hannigan there in 8th. Tyler Ryan back in 9th, and Kent McLean there in that 10th position. Kyle Moyer there in position number 11. Then it's still some great battling back here, man. Look at this 357 ride of Derek Rice. He's been trying to hang on to position number 12, but he's had the 86 of Wells right down to his inside. Hargraves down there and working on his back bumper. Modigan trying to work his way towards the front, same with Jackie Whaley and Jaden Glenn. And some great racing here this evening. Already 12 laps completed here. And for the 47 of Marcos Pace, He's been out in front for virtually every lap here this evening. Did not take him long to seal that race lead away from Jacob Sexton. Jacob may have been able to lead that first lap of the evening, and since then, this 47 ride has just been a man on a mission. Now, that could play very, very good in a long run. It may really hurt this 47 ride. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. A caution flag could really mix things up, especially if some of these drivers that are a little deeper back here, maybe trying to take it a little bit easier, maybe trying to save a little bit of something here for late in this race. When we look back at Jacob, Phillip, even the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton, Ellington right there, T-Jack, we know T-Jack is usually trying to save quite a bit out there on the speedway, trying to keep that car as straight as possible, not wanting to spin those tires or burn up any of the equipment that he's got. So if he can get your yellow flag, could potentially be right there towards the back bumper of that 47 ride. Make some big moves and potentially try to steal this win away from one of the Sexton paint and body rides there at the front of the field. But right now, it's going to be very, very tough. Not only to kind of break up this 1, 2, 3, 4 finish right now that they got working on, but just to get through the Sextons here. When you get three of them together, nose to tail out there on the racetrack, they're all doing such a fantastic job as, man, some great racing. The 101 of Jacob Sexton rolling right there in second. Now, I know they would love to come 1, 2, and 3 here in the feature event, but I'm sure with Marco's pace out in front, I'm sure they don't want to see Marcos win. They would like to see one of the family members win it, but really, when it's your teammate, when it's a driver that you race with on a regular basis and that you're really good friends with, you're going to get beat by anybody. They're going to be happy that it's Marcos here, and so far, it seems like his strategy of just being hard on the throttle, trying to open up a bit of a lead here right at the get-go. It's working out somewhat well for him, but as the laps continue to get clicked off, we continue to see more and more laps being laid down. Potentially, his tires start to fade away a lot sooner than everybody else's, and we could start to see this 47 ride slide farther and farther back through the field. But as of right now, Marco's out in front doing a fantastic job as Jacob Sexton, Phillip Sexton, Jeremy Sexton back there in position number 1, 2, 3, and 4. James Ellington in position number 5, still hanging on and holding off Tyler Jackson as T-Jack rolls there at 6. Hamilton now up and into 7th as he's worked his way around the 727 of Zach J. Clark. Clark slides back into the 8th position as Tyler Ryan there in 9th. Kent McLean there in 10th. Kyle Moyer back in position number 11 with Derek Rice, William Hargraves, Brian Wells and Jackie Whaley rounding out our top 15. Jaden Glenn, Evan Monaghan, Ryan Howard, Jim Rivas, and Stephen Burrow round out our top 20. Jeremy Vaughn back in 21st with Tim Taylor and Chad Puderbo back there in 22nd and 23rd. Shane Matthews in the 5 ride will be back in that 24th position here this evening, as right now 24 drivers started this race. 24 drivers continue to roll out there on the speedway, and it's 24 laps completed. Now, this time across the line, it's 25 laps down and 40 laps left to go. So 40 laps left to duke it out here this evening as we're going to jump into a quick Cedar Lake Speedway Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers here from Cedar Lake Speedway as we crank it up here this afternoon. first caution flag of the day will be displayed here. The Peacemaker Gaming crank it up caution flags. They always seem to be flying it there on the speedway as the yellow flag does come out. We're going to go back to the other overlay. Did realize that was not showing the names or positions out there, so I want to make sure we get that fixed up for you guys so you guys can see where all your favorite drivers are out there on the speedway. But as of right now, it is the number 47 of Marco's Pace who continues to hold on to the race lead. Marco's out in front as it looks like James Ellington, who was running in position number 5 here, is going to be the driver that ends up running into some issues. He had T-Jack there working down to his bottom. You have the 727 of Zach Clark right in this picture as well, and they sent it down into corner 3 and 4, and then it looks like off corner 4, maybe a little contact there, and then oh, yeah, right there. Okay, so you see the 8 ride sends it into the corner. That is Tyler Jackson. Unfortunately, just good, hard racing here. And T-Jack actually blinks a little bit out there on the racetrack, so I'm not sure if the 33 ride knew exactly where he was. I mean, you can kind of get a good idea, but shoots down just in front of him. T-Jack unfortunately gets in there a little bit too far, gets into that left rear quarter panel, spins that 33 ride sideways, and that's what brings out our first caution flag of the day, as we'll jump right back to the green flag action. So the green flag back into the air here in this one as Tyler Jackson does take the EOL, does go to the back of the pack. Actually doesn't look like he did. Looks like he's still up there, but blinking quite a bit, so we'll have to keep a close eye on that one as we'll jump back into our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. Caution, caution, caution. Yellow flag back out here. Bit of a pile up down into corner number 3 out there on the speedway. A lot of drivers getting tore up and tied up here in this one. Let's take another look back and see what happens as our second caution flag of the day will be displayed. Unfortunately, it is for the youngest Sexton out there on the racetrack, trying to battle, trying to keep this 16 rider Dustin Hennigan away from him here, trying to keep that 16 back there at bay. Henny gets a great run to the outside of the 101. They're going to go door to door down into corner number 1 out there on the racetrack, and then you're going to see Jacob trying to slide up in front of him. Henny not going to back down, and unfortunately, as Henny just rolls to the outside, so he had the position entering corner number 1. He had that position there. They were door to door, and it just looks like potentially trying to squeeze him up the track right here for that 101 machine. Obviously, just a good move, a good solid opportunity here. He was clear of him, probably could have slid in front of him, but unfortunately, just kind of comes up the track there, sends it in deep, and unfortunately just leaves the 16 right. No room there on the outside, and nowhere to go as they make contact. Unfortunately, they bounce off the fence. Nowhere to go for T-Jack as he's going to get a piece of that 101 ride. He's going to help him go around, and then from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong, and so many other drivers run into it here. You see Wells trying to get checked up. You see Hennigan getting turned around from that 47 ride. You're going to see a lot of other drivers all of a sudden slide in here or get tied up in it. See Monaghan, Whaley, Bryce. That is Tim Taylor in there. Kyle Moyer all getting some damage into that as well. And here we go. Back to green flag racing. Back to battling and duking it out here in this one. We're going to jump back into the crank it up here just for a couple more laps, and then we'll get right back in to the racing action here this evening. beautiful crank it up session here this evening from Cedar Lake Speedway is out in front, continuing to lead the way. It's Marco's pace. Marco's out in front, continuing to show these drivers how to get it done. Here in this one is Marco's out in front, showing these drivers that he is the car to beat here this evening. It is Jordan LaFawn. What's good, Mr. Laboon? Says, peace. What's up, brother? What's up, Jordan? How are you, mister? How you doing this evening? Is out in front. It's Marco's pace who continues to lead the way as the caution flag will be displayed for the third time here this evening. So our third yellow flag, let's take a look-see-poo and see what happens here to bring out another yellow here this evening. This time looks like potentially a couple drivers pretty tight there towards the top five. It is Zach Clark. He's rolling about that 4th-5th position right here. Unfortunately gets up the track a little bit, loses spot to Jaden Glenn, and then tries to shoot down underneath of Glenn. And it looks like Tyler Ryan going to just be poking his nose into this here. See if we get another angle at it, another look at it here. So Clark trying to stay battle it here for that 5th position with the TNT Racing ride. Out of corner number 4 is just going to get a good run. Unfortunately, nowhere to go as the 11 ride comes up. He tries to shoot down. Unfortunately, Tyler Ryan already there, cuts down across the nose of the 47 ride. That spins Clark around as Clark goes around the 47, still trying to stay out of him, washes up the racetrack into the 86 of Wells. Nowhere to go there for Brian Wells, and he slams hard contact into the outside fence, hard contact into the 47, and that 727 ride as well. So a couple tore up race cars here as everyone else trying to get checked up, trying to avoid that carnage as we get them all ready to rumble, ready to try to go back. The green flag racing is out in front. It's Marco's pace who has the race lead as we go back to green flag racing. I do believe it will be 50 laps down. In 15 laps left to go here this evening. It's nice and easy, down and out of corner number 4. Green flag back out into the air. As Marco's pace gets the green flag, he is still looking and trying to hold off the Sexton's back there behind him. As Philip Sexton up and into second here, great restart, clears the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton, his brother there for that second position. But you see Jaden Glenn working his way from deep in the field. He started back in 18th. He is now running in that 4th position. The TNT Racing number 11 of Jaden Glenn working his way to the front. The 8 ride of Tyler Jackson, T-Jack still in that 5th position. Is kind of stalled out right there. We really haven't seen him been able to jump up and put any kind of pressure onto the back bumper of these Sextons, and obviously really no one's gotten to Marco's pace after Marcos took that race lead basically during the opening lap or two here this evening. Ever since then, he has just been a man on a mission and continue to pull farther and farther away from the rest of the field. And once again, he's looking to try to keep the Sextons and the rest of this field back there at bay, back behind him and behind his dust. Here this evening is down and out of corner number 4. It'll be 11 laps left to go. So can Marco's pace hold on to it? Can Marcos keep himself out in front and win another feature event here in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights? As the 47 ride looking for a big dub here in this one. He's got 10 laps left to go. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he holds these guys off, or do you guys think somebody jumps up here? Maybe a late race caution flag, a late race restart to maybe steal this win away from the 47 ride. As Marcos looking to try to pick up the checkered flag. It's Philip Sexton and Jeremy Sexton, brothers right there in second and third. Jaden Glenn continue to poke his nose though down low underneath that 2020 ride, hoping to see if he can get something rolling, maybe trying to steal that 3rd position away from Jeremy Sexton here this evening. And you see T-Jack, Tyler Jackson right there in the mess as well as he's trying to work his way towards the front. Ken McLean working his way back into that 6th position with Tyler Ryan there in 7th. Evan Monaghan having a great run here in 8th with Brian Wells. And now Jim Rivas, looks like Jim working his way up towards the top 10 here. Jim Rivas now sits in that 10th position. Great run here for Jim. He's got Jackie Whaley, his DWR teammate, right there behind him. There you see Dustin Hennigan, Will Hargreaves, Kyle Moyer. A lot of these guys trying to navigate their way back up towards the front of the field as we do see a little bit of issues deeper in the pack here. Tim Taylor and Derek Wright both turn the wrong direction. No caution flag as of yet, and it looks like Wright's going to try to get this thing pointed back in the right direction. Unfortunately, that will bring the caution flag out. And for Rice, he will probably fall a lap down as our race leaders did roll around Tim, but let's take a look back and see what happened. So Tim Taylor here, a little deeper in the pack. These guys are battling, trying to race their way towards the top 15, and it looks like right there, just out of corner number 2, it's tied together, and unfortunately, they just got to stay glued together, hopping down the racetrack into corner number 3 and 4 before they finally come to a rest here. Let's see if we get another angle at this one, see if we get another look at it as Tim down low, the 357 right up there in the middle groove, and down and out at corner number 2. Just 3 wide. Timmy kind of washes up the track. Unfortunately, right there, just going to get into the door of that 357. That'll get him sideways. Nowhere for rights to go as Tim's going to get back into him. Not once, twice, but 3 times. And finally, that's what will turn him around, especially after bouncing it off of the infield tires right there. And then you see the 33 of Ellington, the TNT Racing teammate there of Tim Taylor, get in there and really help them both go around there. Big shot to the back end of the 99 ride. And unfortunately, that's what will put us under the yellow flag here for a late race restart. And now, for that number 47 ride, you just got to be hoping that you can keep all these drivers back there at bay. Hope that you can keep them, from within arm's reach here. It'll be single file restart, so that's a good news break right there for him. Trying to make sure that he gets his elbows up and gets that foot into the throttle as down across the line. As we go back to green flag racing, it is 5 more laps left to go here in this feature event. So 5 more laps left to duke it out, but it's also, still potentially more caution flags to come here. We'll have to wait and see how that gets played out for Marco's pace. He's just hoping to try to click these 5 laps off as quickly as possible. Keep all these drivers back there behind him. He's got to feel pretty confident with 2 of his doghouse chassis. Sexton Paint and Body, Cocky Floyd Consulting teammates right there behind him as Philip Sexton and Jeremy Sexton still battling back here for that 2nd and 3rd position. But it's all Marco's pace out in front as he sees 3 more laps left to go. So 3 more laps left for the 47 ride to continue to hold these drivers back there at bay as Jaden Glenn is still working himself there into that 4th position. He almost went around off the restart as T-Jack had gotten a little piece of him there for Tyler Jackson. He's trying to hold on to that 5th position. That was the 75 of Kent McLean, Tyler Ryan, the 13 of Monaghan, Jim Rivas now into 9th with Jackie Whaley. They're in 10th, all looking to try to march their way up towards the front, but down across the line. Here we go. White flag has been displayed for the 47 of Marco's pace. So for the final time here this evening at Cedar Lake Speedway, Marco's will send it down into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4, and it's Marco's pace who picks up the checker flag here from Cedar Lake Speedway as the 47 ride picks up the dub here in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. As Marco's pace picks up the win, he'll get ready to pull this number 47 up and in to the Viv's Liquor Victory Lane here this evening. So he'll roll it up into Victory Lane here at Cedar Lake Speedway as Marco's pace picks up the dub. It is Philip Sexton and Jeremy Sexton who round out our podium here. They'll join him on the front straightaway. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Marco's pace as Marco's picks up the checkered flag here this evening. Now he's going to get ready to celebrate here a little bit. Maybe take a little photo op with the rest of his Sexton Paint and Body teammates here, the rest of the Cocky Floyd boys as they pick up the 1-2-3 finish here this evening, man. Great run, great drive for those 3 as we'll get ready to pull them all up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. Post-race interviews coming up next as we'll get ready to pull Mr. Marco's up and into the broadcast booth and the rest of our top 3, the Paris Sextons there in that 2nd and 3rd position. As Jordan says, had some family stuff pop up, wasn't able to get in tonight, brother. It happens. It happens. Hey, we're happy to see you in the chat, though. Also, shout out to Dalton Gibson, Cody McCoy, Kara Billy Tabor coming in with that love as well. And Connor New, how do you do? Connor New coming in with that like on the stream as well. How are you, Connor? Coming in, showing the love here in this one is our feature event coming to a close, man. That was a heck of a run, heck of a show here this evening. These drivers really put on a great race for us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our race winner, Marco's pace. Give it up here for the 47 ride. Hey, Marcos, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, you got me.
Marcos, man, what a run, what a drive. Take us through this one, as it did not take you long to jump out in front. You were able to just virtually in the opening lap find your way around Philip Sexton and Jacob Sexton, take that early race lead away, and then you just stayed there all night long. Looked like no one had anything for you, whether it was one of the Sextons or any of these other drivers back behind them. Just seemed like you were locked in here, not making a mistake, not really running into any issues, even with a couple of these restarts, and you're able to find your way back up and into victory lane here on the season, man. Take us back through what's going through your mind.
Um, well, actually, first of all, when I got that pill draw, I was like, oh, nah, this isn't going to be a good night. But yeah, was actually able to get quite a lot of spots in my heat, which I was really happy about, and ended up getting second in the heat. So really happy with my heat race to start with. And then, yeah, that put me starting 4 in the feature. So I was actually quite happy with that. And then, yeah, just me, Jacob, Philip, and Jeremy, we all just sort of said, because I think we were all in the top 6, we were just like, all right, let's just sort ourselves out and we can go racing later. And I don't know, I just like, I hit turn 1, ran the middle, and was like, oh, this feels real good. So I just stayed in the middle and just, yeah, I picked off Philip, picked off Jacob, and just got to the lead and just didn't look back. It was quite surprising. The top wasn't the dominant line; it was actually through the middle. But yeah, I was able to just get out front, set the pace, and yeah, just drive drive the wheels off it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did an absolute perfect job of that here tonight, even with some of those restarts. But you had to feel a whole lot more confident knowing that you had obviously Philip, Jacob, and Jeremy all right there behind you for the most part until Jacob ran into some issues later in this race. But for pretty much the entire evening, you had at least 2 Sextons back there behind you. You never really felt any other pressure from anyone other than a teammate here this evening. You didn't have Jaden Glenn or T Jack, Hargreaves, any of these other amazing drivers jump up there and try to steal this win away from you. So it was kind of clear and easy sailing for you for most of this evening, even with where a lot of those caution flags were thrown. It was right before you kind of started to run into some of that lap traffic. So kind of nice, clean track for you all evening long, allowing you to just run away with this one.
Yeah, I was sort of hoping it went green to check because I think I had a 1.2 lead out before that first yell, and I was like, oh man, if we can go green to check it, I'm cruising right now. But yeah, unfortunately, you get a couple of yellows and it bunches the field back up. But nah, yeah, having the Sexton, any of the Sextons behind me, Jacob, Philip, or Jeremy, they're all quick. So it didn't. There was a little bit of pressure. There's always pressure when you've got one of those 3 behind you. But yeah, no, I was pretty comfortable on the bottom, pretty consistent, and yeah, was able to just roll around. But track position was definitely important, being obviously the middle being the dominant lane. So yeah, track position was key, and I was yeah just thankful to get that early on, and yeah, that was really what did it for me.
Absolutely great track position, gives you great position for those restarts with the Delaware file restarts, and then obviously you also get you know single file late in this race, so it kind of just really gave you that whole middle lane. You were able to use it to your advantage. There really didn't seem to be much down low. There really wasn't a whole lot up on the high side, or at least that anyone was finding. So as long as you got that good hole shot, you opened up that few car length lead, it really they didn't have anything else for you. I mean, they could have tried to just roll that same line, try to get back to your rear bumper, but it seemed like everyone knew that to beat you, they'd have to try to find a way to get around you. And when they were testing the waters with that bottom or high side, they just kept falling farther and farther away from you.
Yeah, it was yeah, just surprising that the top of 1 and 2 never really came in because you can sort of like obviously you can't get away with wall riding, but if you can run it really good, it's actually a really nice line, but it just didn't come in tonight, which was quite surprising. I'm not complaining. I mean, I loved the middle tonight. It was actually quite enjoyable to run, but yeah, it was hard. Like it, yeah, I just was in control of the race from basically when I got the lead. Like, yeah, like you say, the Delaware restarts really allow the leader to take control of the race because you've got basically you're on the front row by yourself and you can choose when to go. So you've really got no pressure on a restart. And yeah, there's just there was no other line that was quicker, so there was not really any threat from anywhere else unless I got moved by somebody. But I know, well, I know my teammates would do that to me, but it was good. It was good. But yeah, it was a good race.
Absolutely great race, great run for you as you park that 47 right up here into the victory lane here at Cedar Lake Speedway. Marcos, who would you like to thank for another great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Like to thank JC Floyd and all the boys at Cocky Floyd in the kennel. Jeremy Sexton, Philip Sexton, Jacob Sexton, Seth Castle, Brian Wells, Derek Rice, Stephen Stokes, everyone in the kennel. You guys are awesome. Great, great group to be a part of. So thank you all. Like to thank Jim, everyone at DWR for putting this on. It's awesome to have this league and just the drivers that we have. It's so awesome, man. Like I don't know what the strength of field was, but to have this many good drivers in a race is so cool. So yeah, massive thanks to Jim and all the drivers that come out and support it. It's really good to be able to have everyone and the caliber of drivers we have. So yeah, and yeah, can't forget you either, obviously. Love that you continue to broadcast this for us. It's really nice to have something to watch. Yeah, go back and watch, and obviously everyone else that watches live. So yeah, thank you to you for your continued support with us every Wednesday night. So yeah,
Absolutely, brother. It's always my best place to be on a Wednesday night up here in the booth and watching you guys get to duke it out here in these beautiful dirt street stocks. We look forward to seeing how it all plays out again next Wednesday as we'll be back in action, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, Marcos, and maybe right back up and into victory lane again.
hopefully. I mean, after that second place at Fairbury to T-Jack, I've been wanting another win. So it was nice to get one tonight.
Absolutely, brother. It was definitely good to see you up here in the booth, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Wednesday, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Marcos Paces. Marcos comes home in the winner's circle, able to pick up the checkered flag here at Cedar Lake Speedway for that 47 ride. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, it is Philip Sexton. Philip comes home here in position number 2. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Philip, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Not much, Philip, man. Heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening as early on for pretty much this entire race, it was all the Cocky Floyd Consulting rides with the three Sextons and Marcos Pace here at the front of the field, just setting the pace all evening long, even late in this race. As you and Jeremy kind of battled there for a little bit for that second position, it was just all Marcos here in this one, man. Take us back through it from your perspective, how this racing was obviously early on with, your nephew and your brother, and then you throw in your teammates in there as well, Marcos and everything else there at the front of the field for this race win.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, definitely nice seeing Cocky Floyd take the top 3. That's usually what we try to strive for if we can make it happen. That was a really good race, and we've talked about it here recently with these random pill draws and kind of the way that Rivas has been setting these tracks up. That getting out in front as soon as possible is very, very crucial. And when we came off of that start, me and Jacob were kind of running the middle, top side of the middle lane, and the bottom was just there. And Marcos picked it, and he drove right around us, and he stayed there the whole race. So he he's definitely got that line figured out. And then it was just a battle the rest of the race to hang on to second. I on the first caution, I believe it was, the second caution, I chose the outside lane, or I chose the inside lane, and I should have chose the outside, and Jeremy blew by me. Um, and then I picked the bottom to try to run the bottom a couple laps, and he ended up tangling up into the wall, and that allowed me to get back by him. So it was just kind of, I think all 3 lanes of the track that everybody was running was fairly similarly paced. It was just a matter of who was going to mess up and who wasn't. And Marcos didn't mess up, and he took the dub. So
Absolutely. Virtually a perfect race there for him. Almost a perfect race for the three Sextons here as well. Obviously, we saw some issues there with Jacob kind of midway through this race, getting tied up in that one wreck. But, man, it had to be a lot of fun to be up there battling with the family here at the front of the field, just having a good time there towards the front here this afternoon.
Oh, absolutely, man. And everybody's like, oh, it's just a game, blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of us do spend a lot of money on the game and we do enjoy doing it. So to have good, clean racing like this is, it's a blast. And then doing it with your friends or family or the people that you race with, every night or multiple times a week to go up there and have a good run up towards the front of the pack in these league races is just, it's enjoyable. We have fun doing it. So we'll continue to do it as long as Mr. Rivas continues to put them up and allows us to race. We'll be here.
Absolutely, man, and that's what it's all about right there. Having some fun, enjoying your time here on the sim, and building those friendships up even more. Having some good fun, enjoying your nights here away from the real world hassles, and just enjoying some good, clean fun out there on the racetrack. And here tonight, it was a lot of good, clean, fun racing there at the front of the field as you're able to hold off Jeremy Sexton here and keep the rest of these guys back there behind you guys as you're able to come home in that second position, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, of course, Mr. Rivas for allowing these races to take place. I know he gets frustrated with us sometimes when we act like hooligans, but he continues to put them up. So big thanks to him. Of course, my brother Jeremy, Marcos, Jacob, Derek, Steven, Brian Wells, all the guys that race with us, and we all put the practice in together, and of course the King, J.C. Floyd. I don't think a lot of us would be here without his help and putting us on the right path to be fast in a street stock. So big thanks to JC and all the guys at Cocky Floyd, Ethan, Caden, Jordan, all those dudes. They really helped us and we enjoy racing with them. So hopefully we can get them to come back to the sim here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we can get them maybe in some of the action here. Maybe get some special events going on for these dirt street stocks. Obviously, we got the Gobbler maybe coming up here in the future. I mean, who knows with PLR on what may actually happen. But, that's a potential thing that may come up in the future. Obviously, there may be other people that put on other big shows for these dirt street stocks. And hopefully we'll be in the either grandstands or in the broadcast booth being able to give you guys all the action and seeing you guys duke it out there for those. But we'll see you back here again in the Dirt Warrior Racing League next Wednesday for some more great racing action, and hopefully we'll see you in the Sextons and maybe Marcos and the rest of the team right back up here in the broadcast booth post-race.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it, and thank you for doing the live streams. We've got a lot of people that like to watch, so we appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. It's always my pleasure. No better place to be on a Wednesday night than in here watching you guys duke it out.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, and have a good one.
You as well.
Bye.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Philip Sexton as Philip comes home in position number 2 here this evening. As now we'll get ready to pull in the other Sexton in the field. It is Jeremy Sexton. Jeremy coming home in position number 3. Let's pull him up here into the booth. Hey, Jeremy, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jeremy, man, solid run, solid drive here this evening as Cocky Floyd Consulting 1, 2, and 3. But for a while there, it was 1, 2, 3, and 4 as you were able to duke it out there. Your son out there on the racetrack battling with you and your brother, and you throw in some of your teammates into it, man. Looked like a lot of fun out there on the speedway. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind?
It was pretty fun. Definitely fun racing with all my, Marcos, Philip, Jacob. Jacob's took a break for a few months and come back, and he's doing really well. Just trying to be careful and not get into anybody and hopefully salvage a good finish for points.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately for him, got tied up there in some late race issues, but still battled back for a 16th place finish. But for yourself, for you and Philip, you guys battled there for a little bit, and it just seemed like you guys were, being able to hold off the rest of the field there. We didn't really see any major chargers there. We saw Jaden Glenn late in this race trying to find a way around you. He couldn't really get anything to work, and obviously it just allowed you and Philip to kind of battle there for second as Marcos Page just seemed like he was on a whole different planet here this evening.
Yeah, we was definitely battling. We swapped second a couple times there, and that one restart around lap 50, I just drove it straight into the wall in turn one, and they couldn't ever get it back after that. I'm glad to see him have a good run, and all of us actually. Um, but yeah, when you're battling like that, the leader tends to get away. But it's well deserved for Marcos as well.
Yeah, heck of a run, heck of a drive there for him, and it was a solid day and a solid performance for yourself as you're able to come home with a big third place run in a Cocky Floyd Consulting 1, 2, and 3 here this evening from Cedar Lake Speedway. Jeremy, who would you like to thank for another great run and great drive out there on the racetrack?
First and foremost, God. Without him, couldn't do any of this. JC over at Cocky Floyd, Jordan, Ethan, all the guys that help us to get where we're at now. Marcos, Phillip, Jacob, Steven Stokes, Brian Wells, Derek Rice, Seth, all the guys in our Discord that we race with every day. Jim for the league, you for the broadcast, and I had Cody Williams make me this car this past week. I think he did a really good job on it. Thank him for that, and just everybody that makes this go round and round. All the DWR guys, of course, they put in a lot of effort to give us somewhere to race that's fun and competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. And that competition level always growing, always getting more and more intense week after week. But here tonight, it was all Cocky Floyd as you guys come home 1, 2, and 3. Jeremy, congrats on the third place run, brother. And hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next Wednesday.
I sure appreciate it. This pill draw makes it tough for sure.
It definitely does, man. Adds a whole different ball game to these races. And here tonight, it works out for you. So hopefully next week, be some more of the same story.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Jeremy Sexton. As Jeremy comes home in position number 3. Solid run, solid drive there for that 2020 run. Is my boy Rodney Stewart. What's good, Rodney? Hot Rod says, night, Peacemaker. Night, Mr. Rodney Stewart. Hopefully you have yourself a wonderful night. Derek Rice says, how about that for Cocky Floyd tonight? Good run, guys. Great run there for the Cocky Floyd boys here this evening. Derek as man. Heck of a run, heck of a drive. Amazing show here. Obviously fairly minimal caution flags. Not a whole lot of carnage out there on the speedway, and that makes for a lot of fun here on Peacemaker Gaming. But listen, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. All the fans of the stands coming in, showing the love here with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and appreciate you guys tuning in and showing the love here throughout the evening. And if you haven't already, it's not too late. Make sure you guys still hit that thumbs up button for us, hit that like button, hit the share button, hit that follow button if you're watching over on Facebook or Twitch, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Turn those bell notifications on, that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and watching the great runs and great racing here. As Derek says, good run, Randall, yeah, great run, Randall. Great run for everybody, man. Great racing, great runs, great drives here, man. These guys put on a hell of a show for us. And unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening. Can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. We'll be back up in the booth tomorrow night. We got some more great racing there with our Hypershift Racing League. So it's going to be a lot of fun there, and we can't wait to see everyone hopefully back in the grandstands cheering on those drivers. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Roaring engines rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw Races blood pumping, fast gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, hard turns, savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. This is raw real.